right, what is up? We are live. Custer gets it done. Significantly different race. So at least they raced with respect tonight. Still not in love with the system, but at least it wasn't a clown show like last night. And that is the poll question: how much better was this race than the trucks race last night? 1,000 times better, way better, about even, and preferred the truck race last night because some people actually did like the truck race last night. As I was reading through the comments from the video, not the live chat yesterday, but from the video that I released this morning-ish, late night-ish, whatever you want to call it. Let's see here. Go through the comments, see what you guys want to talk about. Mark Barnum saying it was a good race, excellent all-around race. I think it was a good race too. Heim would have won if not for getting clowned, says Shaw. So yeah, I said what preceded that was I said my pick was Heim last night and Cole Custer today. So I hit on Cole Custer. I missed on Corey Heim last night, but yeah, obviously Carson Hocevar played into that just a little bit. Xfinity proves you can race hard and clean, says Mark Barnum. Yeah, so I was really impressed with everybody. Everybody raced each other pretty hard here, but everybody raced each other with respect. And it ended up being a good race. Looked like John Hunter Nemechek cut a tire down at the end and took out Rajah Caruth, so that's why he ended up finishing toward the back. My championship of a Toyota my prediction of a Toyota championship sweep is not going well so far. But it looks like it could be a Ford sweep potentially, but we'll have to see what the Cup Series gives us as in between the lanes. So yeah. Right now, Ben Rhodes and Cole Custer have given Ford the sweep. It is on Ryan Blaney's shoulders to see if he can keep it going. So that's definitely something to look out for. Anybody seen the Ben Rhodes press conference? Says in between the lanes. So yeah, Ben Rhodes likes to overserve himself and then do the press conferences. That's kind of his thing. He did the same thing in 2021, I think, is when he won the other one. So he had the big chain on for this one. So he's doing Ben Rhodes things. Tony looking fit. Leah must be good for him, says Mark Barnum. Well, that and he has to fit inside of a race car again. So drag racing 8 seconds at a time. You still got to be in good shape for your reflexes and all that stuff. So I'm pretty sure he's be in Xfinity. Not he's a good actor, and that he didn't wreck him on purpose. He's trying to avoid a penalty, and that's essentially what I was talking about. But it was refreshing that they actually told the truth because here doing the PC corporate professional thing where he's trying to avoid a penalty by saying that he didn't do it on purpose. And that's the only thing I was saying about the RCR thing. I didn't say somebody was right or wrong. I wasn't defending Sheldon Creed and I wasn't defending Austin Hill. They both, in my opinion, did what they had to do. But I did like the fact that they were at least honest about what they thought in the moment because obviously Corey Heim is lying so he doesn't get penalized next season. Which is the corporate and the PC thing to do. But that's why I like RCR, that they just tell the truth. And it's not for everybody. But I did like that they told the truth. I didn't say what they did was right. I just like that they gave their opinion on the topic. So ironic that it happened the very next race. And now Corey Heim's getting flack for not telling the truth. But Sheldon Creed and all, it's lose-lose. Brad did the drunk champion better, properly representing the sponsor, says Charlotte. Boy dad, Brad Keselowski, his wife gave birth to a little baby boy, so there you go. Brad Keselowski is a boy dad. That made me think of that real quick. But yeah, Brad was the OG celebratory champion of the modern era. The myth, the man, the legend is in the house, says T-Man. Cole Custer is not here, but maybe one day. Heim is as much of a clown as Hocevar. That whole race was horrible, says B. Neither one of them handled that situation well. Carson Hocevar shouldn't have wrecked him. And Corey Heim, if you're going to get him back that race, don't do it with 6 laps left to go in the championship race. So neither guy was right there. Let's see. Cole Custer, who was CC'd Haley last year in her Xfinity race. Oh, Cole Custer's crew chief was who crew chief Haley Deegan last year in her Xfinity race. I want to talk about Stone Cold, says Bumblebee. So yeah, old Stone Cold, he's about to go hit Tony Stewart with the stunner. He's about to hit Ryan Preece, who's sitting in his number 41 with the stunner, and he's going to go reclaim his ride. And I'm just playing, but he does at least silence the critics for a little while. He was getting so much hate this season, especially the way he started off slow in the Xfinity series. So he wins the championship, and he does at least quiet down the critics for a little while. I admit I was wrong. I raised my hand, says in between the lanes. That's all good, my friend. Predicting races is one of the hardest things in the world. Hocevar is a hack, says Jesse Daly. Hocevar is a good actor. Haim is a straight up liar, says Shaw. So there you go. Ben Rhodes needs a beer sponsorship. Yeah, he definitely needs to at least angle for something. Rect Hocevar, LOL typo, says OJ and Toothpaste. I'm 0 for 2 on who I wanted to win the championship so far, says Steve Ann, LOL. 3 wide with Nemechek, Allgaier, and Custer at the end, says in between the lanes. Yeah, so that Dawson Cram racing aggressively for 22nd, apparently. He really needed that 22nd. I think he ended up 19th because of the John Hunter Nemechek wreck. But, yeah, really needed that 22nd, brought out that caution, but it did set up the 3 wide race at the end, and that was some good racing. They raced each other clean. I mean, there was a little contact between the 7 and John Hunter Nemechek, but it wasn't anything like super egregious. So I guess he cut a tire down in that exchange, though. But it is what it is. That's part of retards. But yeah, 3 wide at the end there. That was really good. BB, you catch Truex reaction to the truck race. I've never seen Martin that matter of fact. They race like they've never had to pay for anything in their life. It's a joke, says E. Damon Racing. So I mean, that's is he really wrong though? I mean, he really. I can't disagree with him there. I mean, they're racing like it's a go-kart track that you paid money for to run a go-kart, like attached to a putt-putt. That's how they raced last night. They just spinning each other out, and at least at that type of go-kart track, you would get thrown out by the owner of the park, amusement park. OJ and Toothpaste, appreciate you, my friend, joining up, being a member. Let's see if Sheldon Creed ever gets a car with the number 1 lookout. Second again, that's that number 2 is jinxing him. LOL. So yeah, Sheldon Creed, he led some laps here, so he made his presence known. He was one of the first to try out that high line when the high line came in, and he was able to make it work for a little while before John Hunter Nemechek was able to get back around him. Brad is a new papa, says Mark Barnum. Yep, little baby boy was born. I don't know the name of him yet. But little baby boy born today. BB, did you enjoy the truck race last night? I hated it. Made a whole 5-minute, close to 5-minute rant video. I think it was 4:55 or 4:51. Little crybaby rant video about it because I've never been so disappointed with a race in my entire life. I really wanted to see a good race for the championship in the truck series, and it was just a crap fest, really. Greetings from Prague. What's up, Prague? The Czech Republic. It's 3 a.m. Smoking one of those and hitting the like button and then going to bed, says Say Kyle. All right, so Say Kyle, what's up, man? Good to see you on here. Thanks for making the sacrifice and enjoy the rest of your morning there, I guess I should say. Let's see. Ben the Beer Guy Rhodes. Are you still going with Larson for the championship? Yeah. I mean, just by the numbers, and obviously that's who I want to pick anyway, so I'm going to go with him. Martin Truex Jr. said everything I feel. Agree totally with everything he said, says Shaw. I'm going to randomly keep saying it for the haters. Denny is going to win next year, says Jordan Dry. So, yeah, Denny Hamlin, next year is his year. He needs to really print those T-shirts up and really work that angle. At least make some money off of his pain there. I finally became a member. LOL. I'm such a miserable with money, says OJ. I appreciate your support, my friend. A miser. I'm such a miser with money. I appreciate your support, my friend. Creed looks like the Jelly Donut Man. Glad RCR dumped that huge nerd. Last thing NASCAR needs representing them at this point. Enough think that they are not athletes, says E. Damon Racing. With those glasses, he kind of reminds me of like Austin Powers. Austin Powers. So the glasses just give him an Austin Powers vibe. He needs to put the Union Jack all over his next race car and just fully embrace the Austin Powers thing. E. Damon Racing, Custer is no Slim Jim either. LOL, says Shy. If you see him out of the race suit, so like if you follow him on Instagram and stuff like that, he's actually really skinny. But for whatever reason, when he's in the race suit does not flatter Cole Custer at all. But he's just got a really big head and wide shoulders. But if you see him in like street clothes or whatever, he's actually pretty skinny. I'm not sure about Sheldon Creed. I've never actually seen him in street clothes, so I don't know if the same deal is going on with him. But Cole Custer is just sort of got like a wide build, but he's actually pretty small. I'm not sure if this is a great comparison, but could you say Allgaier and Hamlin are similar in the ways, a lot of wins, experience, and have been part of the championship multiple times, but no championships. Yeah, they sort of different series and all that stuff. But yeah, they're sort of in the same boat. They're doing everything in their respective series except winning. So I mean, it sort of is what it is. Possible poll question: what will you have to eat while watching the championship race? Pizza, buffalo wings, barbecue, D other. So yeah, just hit the check button on that, because pizza and wings, and then you do half the wings as hot sauce and half the wings as barbecue. I know you want me to make those all as a separate poll question, but the answer is really yes. Yes. Let's see here. Ben Rhodes has the best interviews after a championship. The race sucked, but that celebration nowadays was awesome. Yeah, he did at least as much as anybody could do to put a positive spin on that turd of a race. So he will be the lone bright spot from that. I need Christopher Bell, and nobody remembers that nobody's ever going to remember that Christian Eckes won the race. I need Christopher Bell to at least get me one win for my prediction. Says in between the lanes. I mean, never count him out. Never count him out. So Joe Gibbs Racing always brings something good there. So I wouldn't count him out. Custer winning the championship over John Hunter Nemechek is possible revenge from the 2016 Mosport. Mosport says Rainbow Warrior. Yeah, so if you don't remember, that was the truck race. If you remember the two drivers that got into a fight and one got tackled, that was Cole Custer and John Hunter Nemechek. So there you go. Cole Custer gets the final word on that one, at least for this year. Hamlin's problem is he will always win next year. Unfortunately, it will always be next year and never this one, says Shah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Until he wins a championship, he just needs to sell T-shirts to say this is our year. At least make a little bit of profit off of that pain, because that's just how his brain is set up. So he should go for it, in my opinion. That's it. Austin Powers says E. Damon. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of. That's not original. That's not my thought. I've seen a bunch of memes on Instagram and Twitter and wherever else. Not sure if it's a hot take or not, but Corey Heim revenge tour for the 2024 Truck Series Championship. Yeah, if I was Corey Heim, I would be on one too. Obviously, he's going to take a lot of heat for wrecking somebody with 6 laps to go. But that being said, he's definitely going to have it on his mind to win the championship next year. Don't forget to join the Bologna Burger Stand on Discord. So yeah, there you go. Definitely do that. I don't have it set up on this computer yet. I've only got it on my phone. So if somebody's got the link and wants to drop it down there, feel free to drop the link down there. But yeah, definitely join the Discord. It is pretty fun. We've got our man on the scene there, Gloctopus, dropping all kinds of little pictures and hints and tidbits and just good stuff right there right now. So it's just getting started, but it's definitely a good thing to join up on. I love talking with the fellas on Discord. We need more people to join. I love the BB community of fans and great people, says OJ and Toothpaste. I agree. You guys are an awesome community, and I appreciate all of you. Custer looks like Biff on Back to the Future, says T-Van. If you're in Central Florida, you can use promo code MagicWin for 50% off Papa John's tomorrow for your race meal. We just beat the Lakers tonight, so there you go. I love Papa John's and their promotions, especially near sports teams. Poor Eckes, he just looked disgusted in interviews and seemed to care less about the win, says Shaw. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those races you're like, yeah, I won the race, but like everybody wrecked. It's got to be a weird feeling. Is there ever a more fitting number than the 2 car? How many second place finishes this year? Says Dirty Death. Yeah, I don't know. Poor old Sheldon Creed. It's been a rough couple weeks for him. BB, who's your favorite going into tomorrow with the 24 on the pole with the first pit stall? I hope Harvick wins in his last race. That would be John Elway. I'm pulling for Harvick to win the race, and I think Kyle Larson is going to win the championship. But yeah, William Byron, he came out there and he said, "Yo, what's up? I'm just going to go ahead and establish that I'm the man to beat this weekend. So good luck beating me." So yeah, he's had speed in practice. He got the pole. He got the pit position that you want to pit from. Looks like Blaney might have the long run, but that 24 car looks really good. And obviously he won the race earlier this year, so you can't count him out. And if you remember that race earlier this year, him, Kyle Larson, and Ryan Blaney were all right there. So I can't count any of them out. And you never know what Joe Gibbs Racing is going to bring, so you can never count out Joe Gibbs Racing. Anybody that wins that, as long as it's not like a crap fest like the Truck Series was last night. Whoever wins that is going to be just a really good story as champion. So Can't wait to see that one tomorrow. Championship streaks for Joe Gibbs' Xfinity team since Daniel Hemrick and Ty Gibbs won back-to-back championships in 2021 and 2022. Yeah, that was the interesting thing. John Hunter Nemechek, you would think he had the same car that Ty Gibbs had last year, because Ty Gibbs had an absolute rocket ship last year in that race. Noah Gregson was the only one that could even keep him in sight. Ryan Newman's race is tomorrow. Can you imagine Newman winning the race? That would be crazy. That would be pretty crazy. I'm conflicted. I'm a Penske guy, Logano, but I find myself pulling for Larson. He's just had a better season, says E. Damon. Yeah, but I feel like at the end of the day, everybody's had a pretty good year that's left. Sheldon Creed is a dead ringer for actor Clark Duke, famously known for Hot Tub Time Machine. Oh, I know who you're talking about. They do look similar. He needs like bigger glasses though, like or Sheldon Creed needs smaller glasses, I should say. Kevin Harvick qualifying second at this track might be an awesome ending to a great career. Yeah, and what if he wins? He could possibly win too. JJ Yaley hit the wall on pit road. Says in between the lanes. Yeah, he didn't have any tires, so it was kind of hard to control it there. Hot Tub Time Machine nerd. That's Creed. A good catch, says E. Damon. Have a good night, everyone. Let's go Byron on the pole with 6 wins this year, says Say Kyle. So, yeah, he's definitely – I mean, truth be told, William Byron's had the best year. Like, take away the points penalty, and he's got a massive points lead if we were doing, like, regular season-long points or anything like that. So, he's definitely had the best year, in my opinion. BB, what about Ty Dillon? Can he win tomorrow and spoil the party? On Earth 2, you gotta have him as a stone-cold lead pipe black to be competing for a top 5. There's no doubt about that. On Earth 1, let's just see if he finishes the race, because I don't know. I'm kind of worried to see whether or not he finishes that race or not. Laughing my butt off, Dirty Death, I agree. It'll be a Ford sweep this weekend, says Mark Martin, fan for life, so he's going with Blaney tomorrow. I watched Dirty Mo fan-controlled stream. Natalie Decker, Andrew Kurland, and another dude was actually pretty good. Okay, so there you go. Dirty Mo got the race stream going now, so that's pretty cool. BB, have you ever been to Phoenix? I went to Phoenix last year, for sure, for the whole thing. ARCA, trucks, everything. It was a good time. It's one of the better racetracks to visit. I wanted to go back out there this year, but it just didn't work out. Been a little bit more expensive year than I thought it would be. Sheldon Creed looks like a librarian, says OJ and Toothpaste. Yeah, so those glasses, they're an interesting pick. That's all I can say about the glasses. I'm not knocking them. They're just not my style, but I'm also not 20 years old. Sheldon Creed wears glasses. That's why he cannot win. The jinx is proven yet again, says Shah. I mean, it just depends on who you look at. Joey Logano wears them. He won the championship last year. So it just depends on which driver you pick. Glasses are bad luck, says Shah. Somebody needs to wear glasses while driving a green number 13 car and win the championship, so that we can put all the bad luck myths to rest in racing. Natalie Decker for the win tomorrow, says Steve Van. Yeah, I mean, is she racing anything though? I haven't seen her race anything since like Orange County in the past tour or something like that. Mark Langren, what's up, my friend? That's the way the Truck Series needs older drivers, and that's why the Truck Series needs older drivers in the mix to show the kids how to do it with respect. I'm not necessarily going to disagree with that. That's actually when the Truck Series was the most fun, is when you had like the Ron Hornadays and people like that of the world's in there. Harvick beats the 24, and Matt Crafton. Like, Matt Crafton's still in it, but you had like Ron Hornadays and Matt Craftons, and those were the guys you measured yourself against if you were one of the younger drivers. Harvick beats the 24 for his last win, as he did his first in ATL, and the 24 wins the championship as Gordon did in Harvick's rookie season, says Clean Clo. That would be cool, man. That would be really cool. Natalie Decker wanted a sponsorship with her outfit tonight. Says OJ and Toothpaste. I had no idea what you're talking about, so I'll have to go back and I guess look at that. She's got an OF sponsorship, so I don't know. Maybe she's leaning into that side of it. Easy on the glasses, says Mark Langren. I mean, I'm not a glasses hater here, so Logano is only good even in years, and it counteracts the glasses. Says Shah. Bush Light on Miller Light. What's better? Oh, it depends. Like Miller Light's a Pilsner lager, so it's a little bit of a different flavor. If you like a regular lager, probably Bush Light. But just to answer your question, whichever one's on sale, and after the first one, they all taste the same. As long as you keep in the same family. OJ was definitely on display, says Mar Barnum. Joey left the Champions Journal at home, thinking Blaney might win it all, and be the one who writes his championship message to the tradition, says Jamie Schweitzer. That's pretty cool. Don't forget to tape a $50 to the dash in that green car, says Tim Race. Yeah, so there you go. You got to counteract all of it. I'd say at least about 200 times better than last night's disaster of a truck race. So yeah, there is a poll question. I forgot to mention that. I think was it 1,000 times better? Was it way better? Was it about even? Or you preferred the truck race last night? So there you go. 58 votes right now, and 57% saying it was 1,000 times better. The old guys know what it takes to be and old in Cup, says E. Damon. Kevin Harvick wins tomorrow, and Ryan Blaney comes in second to win the championship, says Joe Sample. AJ for the win. Will probably be kicking himself for a long time after being too hot. That first lap of the green-white checker and cost him all. Yeah, he slid so far up the track. Like, he really – I appreciate that he was going for it. But, like, literally in my head in that moment when he drove it in too deep and slid up the track, all I could see that moment in Fast and the Furious where Rick Yoon is racing against the Volkswagen, and he goes, "Too soon, Junior," and they all go by him. And when they all went by John Hunter Nemechek, that's all I could hear in my head was, "Too soon, Junior." So yeah, that was pretty funny, and I don't know why that popped in my head, but that's the movie quote that popped in my head while all that was going on. BB, what did you think of Rajah Caruth tonight? So he ran pretty good until he got John Hunter Nemechek's tire went down and collected him at the end, but I thought he did pretty good other than that. I wish Steve Park could run a couple more races in trucks. Says T-Man. He ran one last race in modifieds, and won. He moved a guy out of the way to win, but he said it was going to be his last race, and that's why he drove like that or something. I don't know. It was I saw him talking about it somewhere. And way better, in my humble opinion, than last year's Xfinity Championship racer. I might be thinking about Jerry Nadeau. I don't know. I was pissed at Gibbs winning, says DJ Odell. Yeah, Gibbs. Of course, Gibbs. This marks the 1 year anniversary, obviously, of losing his father. But yeah, he won the race last year and just had a way faster car. It wasn't even close. I wear glasses. Jinx are Jinx. They don't discriminate. No peanuts allowed, says Shah. Sorry, give me an IPA or a DIPA homebrew, says Mark Langren. I mean, I'll sort of take whatever. I'm not super picky about that stuff. I've brewed my own. As far as if you're going to go the homebrew route, a Russian Imperial, I like ales any day over lagers. So a Russian Imperial is probably my favorite. I do like a porter. There's a porter from time to time that I like to enjoy, but they don't make it anymore. But I do know the guy that's got the recipe. BB is in Martinsville full steam. What's that thing called? Working Man's Lunch. They make a version of it now, but it's not a porter anymore. The porter version was really good. It tastes like a moon pie in an RC Cola. BB is Martinsville hot dog, the best in the world. To be honest, it's overrated. It's one of the most overrated things in all of sports. I'm pretty adamant about that, and I catch a lot of hate for it. But it's just a hot look. It's not bad by any means. If you like hot dogs, you like the hot dog. But at the end of the day, it's just a hot dog that happens to be red. It's a Jesse Jones hot dog with onion, coleslaw, and chili on it. So it's nothing. I mean, if you like that, it's just a hot dog. But it's not I don't know. They act like it's this world-changing hot dog. It's not. BB, do you think Cole Custer is the right champion this year or not? I mean, everybody's got the same system going in. The only reason I was critical of last night is because every single one of them got wrecked basically, and some of them were wrecking each other. So if you're going to wreck the other guy to win, that shows a huge flaw in the system. I'm still not a fan of the system, but these guys didn't wreck each other tonight. So and they had the same system going in. So yeah, I mean Cole Custer played by the rules and won the deal. The hot dog is red. Suspect, says E. Damon. Or have a DeWalt sponsored car winning the championship with a driver in their fourth full-time season. in a year ending in 3. Kenseth 03, Bell in 23. Hey, there you go. There you go. 20 years apart. Will we get DeWalt dubs? I like the math you're doing there, Clean. Will all the Cup owners show up tomorrow? Says Jamie Schweitzer. I'm pretty sure they'll all be there. Let's see. The passing of his dad, as shocking as it was, finally got Ty to legitimately grow up and mature. Says CJ. I think so too. I mean, how could it not? Like, it doesn't matter what age you are in your life when that event happens, whichever parent it is, it's a defining moment in your life. You're never the same person after that. I hope Corey doesn't use the word professional when describing his career as a professional race car driver. Says like dislike. BB, I hope Harvick wins tomorrow and Larson is second tomorrow. That would be cool. I mean, I could live with that. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, I think so. That's probably a good poll question. I guess I'll just say like better story. I don't have enough options. I'm grouping Bill and Blaney together. Like, I don't know. Maybe I should. I tell you what, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to group. Like yeah, we'll do it that way. There we go. So we'll do it that way. I feel like that's the fairest way to do it. What's the better story tomorrow if it happens? Harvick winning, Byron, Bill, or Blaney winning their first championship, Kyle Larson winning his second championship, or just some random driver wins the race. So that is the poll question right now. And the previous poll question, 54% think it was 1,000 times better, this Xfinity race, than the Truck Series race last night. All right, let me go try to find my spot. I race a green car, says Mark Langren. Yeah, so the green car thing is such a myth. Harry Gant had a pretty good time with it, and the ultimate green car myth destroyer had to be Bobby Labonte. Bobby Labonte won a championship in an Interstate Batteries car, and he never had another sponsor the rest of the season. So the car was green all year. He won a championship in it. Green car myth put to bed. So the green car myth, it can't be a real thing, at least in my mind anymore. So the number 13, somebody needs to win a championship in number 13. That needs to be the next one. Oh dear, Mark Langren, LOL, says Shaw. Let's see. Personally, I like hot dogs topped with onions, mustard, and chili, says CJ. So yeah, I mean, like I said, if you like hot dogs, it's a good hot dog, but it's not like this life-altering. It's not some culinary treat or some culinary delight. Yes, Custer was the right champion, says B. Chili dogs are heaven. I mean, I was pulling for Custer. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm glad because he got so much flack just for being Cole Custer. And I'm just glad that he finally got some positivity behind him. Chili dogs are heaven, says Shaw. He won cleanly, says B. Hey, EB, says Mark. So happy for Cole. Love the guy. Underrated talent, says James. Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I think Cole Custer is a really good driver. And just for whatever reason, it's just popular to hate him. He's just one of those drivers. It's popular to hate him. Just like it's popular for people to hate Nickelback. They don't even know why they hate Nickelback. They just know it's the popular thing to do. BB, do you think Carson Hocevar will take someone out next year in Cup and get into a fight? I don't think Carson Hocevar is much of a fighter. Like, I don't even think he even wants to drive dirty, so I don't know. He could probably, like, Tyler Reddick was super critical of him, and if those two squared off, like, physically, Carson Hocevar would destroy Tyler Reddick. But I don't think he can because he just doesn't have that much meanness in it. So I don't know. But if I was Carson Hocevar and Tyler Reddick said what he said to me, we would find out. We would find out on pit road. Let's see. Bacon cheddar dogs are too good, says Shah. I cooked some ribs for the first time in years tonight, and they turned out decent. I used to be able to make them better, says T-Van. Yeah, it's hard to go wrong with ribs. Rhode Island, my home state, has a well-known hot dog variation called the hot wiener, topped with mustard, onions, and a chili like meat sauce, but it's not exactly chili. I don't mind, guys, wrecking during the season. Just keep that nonsense out of the postseason, especially the championship. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you as far as that one goes, E. Damon. If Corey Heim wanted to exact that revenge, do it before there's like 6 laps to go. Do it when there's a good portion of that race left, or just do it the next season. HMS sucks. Let's go 12 or 20, says like dislike. Harvick Blaney championship. That's my hope, says Shah. I'd like to see Joey win and hand the Bill France trophy to the new champion, says Jamie Schweitzer. That would be pretty cool. BB, what's your favorite Shrek movie, 1, 2, or 3? Oh, it's hard to pick, man. Like, all the Shrek movies are good. So I guess I'll go with part 1 because that sets up the whole franchise. Ty Dillon winning the race for the pole, random driver, says OJ and Toothpaste. That would be the ultimate rando win. Danica drove a green car. LOL. Yeah, so there you go. Danica disproved the myth of the green car being unlucky. She proved it was absolutely, you could just be untalented and wrecking a green car too. If you look up Danica Patrick highlights, how many of them are wrecks? Are there any highlights? Hey, BB, how are you doing? I still have a bad taste in my mouth after the truck clown show. Yeah, it was rough. The truck show was rough, but at least the Xfinity race did something to put some positivity on it. And like I said, I'm trying to stay positive in this one. But I definitely made my feelings my feelings known about the Truck Series race last night. Just disappointed. I wasn't even mad. I was just like, that's the most disappointing. That's what racing in NASCAR has come to at this point. Glad to see SHR at least win something decent this year. Says T-Van. Maybe dark green is okay, says Shah. I mean, but the Interstate Batteries car is bright green. So you got Harry Gant in dark green. He won a bunch of races in dark green, and then you got Bobby Labonte in bright green. So I don't know. Just have to. And Kyle Busch has won in the bright green Interstate Battery car too. So he just didn't run it for a whole season because times they are changing. So he didn't do the full interstate thing. Maybe let's see, 1,000 times better, and that isn't 1,000 times better than 0 isn't hard. It's hard, says E. Damon Racing. BB, if Martinsville hot dog is not the best, what hot dog was your most favorite of all time? It's hard to beat the Costco value thing as far as like a hot dog you can get anywhere. Cookout. I don't know if everybody has a Cookout near them, but Cookout's really big down here, and they've got a bacon cheddar dog. So the bacon cheddar dog at Cookout is pretty good. So that's late night fare, and most regions that have a Cookout, if you can get a bacon cheddar dog from my Cookout, that's the least healthy thing you can possibly ever put in your body, but it's really good. It's Saturday Night Live with your host, Bologna Burger. Music tonight in the NASCAR theme song, says In Between the Lanes. Yeah, I forgot to do the cold open. I should have done a cold open or falling down Chevy Chase style. What's up? I'm Chevy Chase, and you're not. So there you go. There's your old school Saturday Night Live intro. Coke Custer, don't know much about him, but he's a cool race car driver name, says E. Damon. I grew up and hung out with Nickelback boys, says Shah. BB, you ever been in a fist fight before? Yeah, I've been in several. I've been on both ends of it. I've won and I've lost. Did you knock them out? Toyota, let's go. Don't fight. It never ends up well for anybody. Toyota, let's go places, says In Between the Lanes. Cool Custer. Stone Cold Cole Custer is what he's going by now. It used to be Cold Custer when he had the Andes frozen custard relationship. BB with Alan Gustafson. Come back to the 9 next year. I would. I mean, I feel like they've got a pretty good championship chemistry going, so I would come back to it. Okay, BB, green is fine. Yeah, I can disprove green. I can't necessarily disprove 13 yet, but the green controversy, we can definitely disprove that one. Danica could have raced a pink car and still would have lost, says Jamie Schweitzer. Yeah. So let's see. Ben Rhodes interview saved the Truck Series for me, says T-Van. Yeah, he did the best of what he could do. Yeah, it was a dumpster fire last night, E. Damon, for sure. Kyle Busch got his 200th career win in the Interstate Batteries Toyota Camry. And I mean, not for nothing, the monster car has it too, and Ty Gibbs won the championship in it last year. So I guess eating peanut oil, says Sha. I'll have to go through history and find a peanut sponsor race car driver that won some races or a championship. In the truck series, I don't know if you guys remember the Carolina Nuts truck, but that truck won some races. So we can almost put the peanut one to bed just off the top of my head. BB, who's the best JGR driver of all time in your opinion? Kyle Busch. And it's close. If Tony Stewart had been there for his whole career, I would say Tony Stewart. But I would have to say Kyle Busch, because Tony Stewart did all kinds of other things. But I mean, you're splitting hairs. So flip a coin between Kyle Busch and Tony Stewart. But I think if you're just looking at Joe Gibbs' career, then I would have to say Kyle Busch. Now, if you're just saying the best driver that ever sat in like a Joe Gibbs seat, then you could probably make an argument for Tony Stewart. And I don't think that one would really be necessarily controversial or even close. So if it's just a driver that sat in a Joe Gibbs racing seat, Tony Stewart. If you're talking about career at Joe Gibbs, I would say Kyle Busch. The Peanuts apparently was unlucky because they would work on cars under the stands and the shells would fall down onto the engines, says Sha. The Mossett caution was needless, says Chrome Diesel. Yeah, that was a little quick on the Connor Mossett caution, but it is what it is. NASCAR is going to NASCAR. The Carolina Nut Truck was driven by Ben Rhodes. So there you go. I can't remember if that's the year he won the championship, but I remember it's actually a pretty good product. They have them at Food Line around here. And they actually make them. They have, at least, I don't know if that's the only factory, but they have a factory in Henderson, North Carolina, which is not too far from me. BB, how mad were you watching the last 20 laps of the truck race last night? It wasn't even the last 20 laps. It was lap 6 and beyond that it just got like out of control. I mean, and even before that, like I wasn't like super mad with the Carson Hocevar thing. But then it just evolved. Like the Carson Hocevar thing, I guess, set it off. So I guess you could go to lap 20. But from lap 6 on is when I was like, this is just so disappointing. I wasn't even mad. It was just so disappointing. BB, what driver in the history of NASCAR you didn't like or care for, says OJ and Toothpaste? There's been several. Like I think I've told the story before of Ricky Rudd. Dale Sr. was about to win a race at Wilkesboro, the first race I attended. And Ricky Rudd and him got into it, and it cost Dale Sr. A chance to win because Ricky Rudd moved him. He moved Ricky Rudd back. Ricky Rudd spun out. So when Ricky Rudd spun out, Earnhardt got black flagged. And the funny thing is, I had literally the only 2 autographs I had in my life at that time was a Quaker State Ricky Rudd autograph and a Dale Sr. autograph. And I was like, I kind of like this Ricky Rudd guy. That lasted all of about maybe a few months. Ricky Rudd was one I remember, and I obviously finally got over it. By the time he was driving the Tide car, I was over it. But it just depends. Like through no fault of his own, I hated Dale Jarrett for a little while just because when he won the Daytona 500, I was getting mad at Ned Jarrett, and it's a great moment. Like looking back at it now, but as an Earnhardt fan at the time, I was like, "Shut up!" I was like, "Put the TV on mute." I was like, "That's the most biased thing I've ever seen." but looking at it unbiased, because I was biased at that time, I was like, it's actually pretty cool now that I look back at it. But because Dale Sr. had never won a Daytona 500 at that point, I got deep in my feelings. So through no fault of his own other than winning a Daytona 500, I randomly hated Dale Jarrett for a while. I was funny, man. Like I didn't want anybody to beat my dude. So it was a different era too. So it was pretty interesting back then. Fireburger says Krusty. Out for karaoke tonight. Race recap, says Delmar Kaufman. I mean, it's a pretty good race. Cole Custer and John Hunter Nemechek controlled most of it in the later half, I would say. And Cole Custer walks away with it at the end. A good restart at the end. A caution caused by Dawson Cram set up 3 wide at the end, and Cole Custer walked away with it. Honestly, I'm happy for Ford finally getting some good news this weekend. Yeah, it's been a good weekend for Ford. They unveiled a new car, and they've got 2 championships already. Ever since the start of 2021, they've fallen on hard times in all 3 series. Peanuts are unlucky also because way back, several race car drivers passed away, and Peanut on the floors of several cars. So there you go. Maybe that's something I can look up in the off season is some of the superstitions, and maybe see if I can find Let me write that down because you guys know I will forget. Superstitions. Let's see. I watched the NASCAR Superstition video, so I'm up on Superstition tangents as I shot. Okay, good. Just let me know where that video is, and I will I will gently rob from it and make it better. I'm just playing. I will. I'll try to find some though. KB won the 2015 championship in the green crispy M&M's car. Says like this, like yeah. So I think we can disprove green. Let's see. Carson Hocevar looking like tidy whiteys. Says Krusty. How nasty would be drinking out of Ben Rhodes' shoe? I think I'll pass on the shoey. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the shoey. That's is that an Australian thing? They can keep that. I'm not about that life. BB, what's your favorite Dale Senior win of all time that you watch live? It has to be the Daytona 500. Like Daytona 500 is probably my favorite one of all time. Oh, that I watched, live on TV. Like I saw him win in Darlington. Like I thought for the longest time I'd never been to Darlington. Then my mom's like, we used to go to Darlington every Labor Day weekend. Like we would all go on vacation to the beach, and the women would go home, and the men would go to the racetrack, and that triggered that memory. And I was like, oh crap, I've actually seen Dale Senior win at Darlington. Like I had totally erased that memory, and that brought it right back. I was like, crap. I was like, so there you go. Let's see. Shoe shot. So I guess Darlington would be the only the live one. I've been super lucky. I've seen all my favorite drivers pretty much win a race in my lifetime. Shoe shots, no thank you. Not sure if this is true or not, but the Fox Booth remote, not at the track. I watched 2 videos. Yeah, they were not at the track. They were in the studio, and that's a bummer. Cole Custer, WTF, says Krusty, said the same thing for years. A broadcast is not supposed to be biased like that. But yeah, I totally get it now. Says Dirty Death. Yeah, I was deep in my feelings about that. And Ned Jarrett's one of the greatest of all time. So I mean, it was just me being mad my dude lost. Jeff Gordon winning the Aaron's 499. Oh, I hated Jeff Gordon, so that's one for sure. Like that was just, and it was nothing Jeff Gordon did except he won too much. So I hated Jeff Gordon for a while. Winning the and then when he started losing to Jimmy Johnson, I started liking him. So he was just winning too much for my taste. Dominating the race in the Star Wars car, 138 laps led. He was a rocket ship, says OJ and Toothpaste. Dawson Cram also didn't help Brett Moffitt back in 2020 going for the Truck Series Championship for sure. Superstition, my doo-doo, says Krusty. Green cars are supposed to be unlucky. Take Jeff Burton out of what booth and put BB in, says Thomas Haywood. I don't know if I'm ready for booth work. Green is my favorite color, says in between lanes. BB was Juan Pablo Montoya a good driver in Cup? I think he was a good driver, especially given what age he came into the Cup Series, and he got some wins, and he was actually good at some of the short tracks too. Like you look at his numbers at Richmond, he was good at Richmond. There were a few short tracks he was really good at. Daniel Ricciardo does the shoey as well in F1. Yeah, I think it's an Australian thing, but I'm not 100% sure about that. What is your favorite Petty win of all time? The last win he got at Daytona with, that's the most iconic one, and it's the only one I remember also. So the plane flying over, Ronald Reagan got there. Like that's the most iconic Petty win. My dad and granddad were picking on me, saying Richard Petty will never win another race, and I had a meltdown. The women had to get involved and separate everybody. They got in trouble. I was in tears, and then they never gave me a hard time again because Richard Petty won the race, and they were like, "Dang." They were like, "What are the lucky lottery numbers? You're on a roll." So that was the end of that. So that was I remember that one for a lot of reasons. So that was and I was like, I was a little kid, and I think the only reason I remember that is because I was so upset. There's no other reason I would have remembered that otherwise. Heim did what he needed to do. The 42 was moving forward to the front when he took him out. Imagine living your life knowing someone did you like that and won a championship. It had to be done, says Bo Darville. I'm not saying he shouldn't have wrecked him. I'm saying he shouldn't have wrecked him with 6 to go. Like, if you're going to wreck him, go back there and wreck him early on and be done with it. BD, have you ever met Dale Jr. or Dale Sr. in person? I have not. I have not. I got the autograph from Dale Sr. He sent it to me in the mail because I visited RCR. So I saw him in person. I just never, I was never that dude that went up and talked to him. Kyle Petty, I've met in person. He was a really nice guy. As a little kid, I don't know. I've met a lot of them in person getting autographs. So I don't know. Let's see. Salty Tony Stewart calling out the Truck Series crash test after the trophy ceremony was the best part of the night. Facts. Facts. Tony Stewart has always got an agenda to push. Another unlucky thing is numbers that are the same upside down, like the 8. Maybe why Dale never won a title. Junior, Tony the Liger, says Krusty. Man, it's good to see the 00 win a championship, says TJ. So there you go. That's there you go. As far as numbers being upside down, being the same, being unlucky, the 00 just won a championship, so that would disprove that one. So let's see. Ford won 2 championships this weekend. I'm picking Blaney to make it 3 championships this weekend for Ford. So yeah, the Ford sweep is on as it stands right now. Kyle Petty and BB in the booth. Let me say this, says in between the lanes. Yeah. So fun fact, that's actually who I was named after, is Kyle Petty. So there you go. There's another tidbit for you. I think Sauter and Hornaday had a peanut sponsorship, if I remember right. Was peanut butter. Has peanut butter ever sponsored a car? Jif? I can't remember peanut butter. Maybe Skippy. Maybe Peter Pan. Why am I thinking Peter Pan? Peter Pan might have sponsored a race car. It might have been an Indy car, but I vaguely remember Peter Pan. I don't know if they sponsored something or not, but I'll have to look that one up. JMP was quick, and Indy and Dover as well, says Clean Clo. For sure. Krusty says Algar. BB, what if Kyle Larson got sick and only raced for 1 lap and came into pit road and Norm Benning substituted and won the race? Would Larson get the championship or Norm Benning? In that situation, the points go to whoever starts the race. So Kyle Larson would be the champion, and obviously Norm Benning has got to be your go-to backup driver. So I like what you're thinking there. Norm. What is your favorite paint scheme of all time, says Delmar Kaufman? Probably, that's a good one. I'm going to go Richard Petty because that's what got me into the sport. That was the first car that I pulled for. I didn't even know who it was. I was just like, I like that Dayglow. It's actually the car you've got in that picture right there is the paint scheme. I don't know if it's the exact car, but that's the paint scheme I first remember pulling for. That Dayglow and that Petty Blue on TV, man, that was hitting back in the day. Next week, BB will be the guest picker on College Game Day. I don't know about that. I don't really keep up with college football like I used to. So they would have to tell me who the teams are playing, and then I would just randomly pick. That's why I hate HMS. Some kid showed up and started beating my guys, and now HMS is always the team you have to beat. Says like dislike. Little Gator deserves a chance. Yeah, Hendrick. They were just sort of like a regular team for the longest time, and then Jeff Gordon took them to another level. Little Gator deserves a championship, says T-Van. Rajah Caruth, 17 full-time next season, BB. I don't know where Rajah's going. I have no idea. Yeah, I hope Justin Allgaier gets a championship before he retires, T-Van. Third season in a row, a driver with the most wins didn't win the title and moved the cup the following year. Coincidence, says Chrome Diesel. I mean, you're basically just an Xfinity to make a name for yourself. So you got to make the name for yourself and move up when you can. He is the Mark Martin of Xfinity. Agreed, T-Van. Okay, superstitions are useless. LOL, no such thing as luck. The playoffs are valid, says Shah. The playoffs are not valid. I don't like the playoffs. This at least this current version of it. BB, good evening. I was so happy for Cole. He really raced his butt off, says Jenna, for sure. He did what he needed to do there. BB, what made you like racing? What made you like racing or NASCAR in general? I don't know. I couldn't tell you that. I just I always grew up around it and with it, and I just I don't know. I just liked it. Like I mean, it was sort of baked in. Like I said, I was named after Kyle Petty, so it's just one of those things that it's always held my interest. There have been other stuff I've been interested in that came and went, but racing is just I couldn't tell you why I like it. I just know I like it. The last two times I got Kyle Petty's autograph, he won the following weekend. He should have hired me as a good luck charm. Rockingham and Watkins Glen, says Delmar. Nemechek saying one race doesn't define our season, makes the format look stupid, says Bo Darville. I mean, he's got a fair point though. I mean, he's got a legitimately fair point there. I vote to replace the truck series with Robbie Gordon Stadium Super Trucks. Entertainment value 1,000 times better and racier, says E. Damon. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that still runs or not. So I'll have to look that one up. Mark Barnum, wasn't there a Planters car? So, yeah, there was a Planters peanut car, at least in iRacing when NASCAR was couldn't race or anything like that. So there was a Planters car. I remember the diecast for it. I think it was Bubba Wallace, Richard Petty Planters diecast, if I'm not mistaken. I always liked, but I might be wrong. No, it might have been Alex Bowman. That's a good. There was a planner's car though. There was a planner's car. I always disliked Kyle Petty growing up, and now he's one of my favorite people in the sport. Funny how life works. LOL says Dirty Death. There's a lot of truth to that. Like as you grow up, certain people grow on you. You understand where they're coming from. Driving tonight, just listening for me, says One Wise Guy. I appreciate you participating any way you can. Stay safe out there driving as always. Delmar Kaufman, when did John Hummer Nemechek say about that? Says Chrome Diesel. I think he said it after the race. In his interview, Raja might be part-time, says NASCAR collector. 22 is the same upside down. 22. So there you go. BB, you ever cried after that's one thing I can say for sure. I've actually never cried about a NASCAR race, so I can't say that I have. I have seen some other friends though that like they pull for drivers that don't win a lot, and I've seen them when their driver wins. They weren't like bawling their eyes out, but I've seen them tear up because they're like, man, I never thought I'd see my dude win live. So that's been pretty emotional for a lot of people. I saw a lot of people at North Wilkesboro crying when North Wilkesboro opened back up for the Cars Tour race. So that was a whole different experience though. So that I don't think you'll ever get that feeling that they had when North Wilkesboro opened up again for the Cars Tour race after 20 some years. I don't think you'll ever get a feeling like that again. What cried? LOL says E. Damon. Steve says it's not a gimmick because I think a lot of people had gone there with their significant family members, and those family members weren't there anymore, and they finally got to go back and just sort of relive those memories. I can speak for myself on that one. Steve says it's not a gimmick when the truck race happens. Says yeah, that's a fair point. Wish someone would give Jeremy Clements a ride. He's a pretty good driver. Brandon Brown, too, would be another one. Am I the only one that thinks Sheldon Creed looks like he could be Mike Meyer's son, says Chris Cox. So, yeah, I don't know if you were here earlier for that, Chris Cox, but we said he looks just like Austin Powers with those glasses on. BB, if you could pick, would you grow up in the 1800s, 1900s, or 2000s? There's thousands of years of gap there. Well, definitely, I guess the 1900s because that's when NASCAR existed. So I can't imagine living any other timeline than I live on. So I'm good. I'm good with the timeline I'm in. Isn't your birthday this month? What day again? Thank you, says Jenna. My birthday is this month. So I appreciate it. It is always around Thanksgiving. Why the Creed hate? Says Shy. I don't know. Just because he's funny. We're not hating on him, but he does look like Austin Powers. I'm just talking about his glasses. He looks like Austin Powers with the glasses. There is no Creed hate. The guy can race, says Shaw. Yeah, I'm a Creed fan. I'm an Austin Hill fan too. Like I don't think either one of them did anything wrong. Yeah, we're not hating, but he does look like with those big glasses, he does look like Austin Powers. Creed, the band, or Sheldon, says Jenna Allison. I'm not hating on either one of them. Creed, the band, I'm down with them too. They're making a comeback. Ironically, the younger generation likes Creed, and it became trendy for the older generation to hate on Creed even after they bought all the CDs. Have you read Kyle Petty's book? I haven't bought it yet, but it's on my list. I like Creed too, says Jenna Allison. BB, were you watching the 2001 Daytona Live? I was. And what was your reaction? I knew it was bad. I was hoping for the best, but when I saw Kenny Schrader's face, that was a dead giveaway. But obviously, you just sitting there hoping for the best, hoping that you're proved wrong. But I was not proved wrong. What about when Dale Jr. won the 2001 Pepsi 400? It was, to me, I knew Dale Jr. would have plenty of support, and I didn't pull against him, but he wasn't always my favorite. I went with Kevin Harvick. So to me, it was a bigger win when Kevin Harvick won at Atlanta because I knew Kevin Harvick was going to have to get wins to justify being in that 29 car. The same reason a lot of people hate Austin Dillon, even though they won't admit it to your face, they'll find other reasons. They're like, well, we don't hate Austin Dillon because of that. We hate Austin Dillon because of this, that, and the other thing. They hate Austin Dillon because he's sitting in the 3 car and he won't win as much as Senior or somebody else that they would rather have in the 3 car. Tony Stewart is a terrible Cup owner. SHR has just gone downhill since Harvick's championship 10 years ago. Random thought, says E. Damon. It's just sort of the way the ball bounced. I don't know if he's a terrible team owner, but they definitely haven't had the success. OJ and Toothpaste with the super chat, my man. Appreciate you. There is the fist bump. Thanks, BB, for the streams and answering all of my silly questions. Just messing with you half the time. Earth 2 forever. Earth 2 is where it's at, my friend. We got to get something going on Earth 2. I've cried in tragic times, but not as much as far as wins go. Steve Park winning Rockingham after Dale passed away made me cry. Yeah, Steve Park was a big one too. I'll tell you what, it wasn't during a race, and it caught me by surprise because I never at the time, like thinking about it, I didn't realize how big of a fan of Alan Kawicki and Davey Allison I was, because being an Earnhardt guy, you were a Chevrolet guy. But when both of them passed, like Alan Kawicki, when I found out he passed, like it was like immediate. I was like, holy crap. And like I didn't even realize I was crying. I wasn't like sobbing or anything like that. And I wasn't expecting to cry because I never knew I cared that much about Alan Kawicki. But I cried about that one, and I cried about Davey Allison. So those not necessarily a race win or anything like that, but those caught me off guard because I didn't even know I liked those guys, to be honest with you. Do you listen to the NASCAR on NBC podcast? I do not. Steve Phelps' words aged like milk, and not even a day went by, says Chrome Diesel. Agreed. BB, what was the reaction when Kenseth dumped Logano at Martinsville in turn 1? I just didn't care. Like that one has never. I wasn't a Matt Kenseth fan, and I wasn't. I actually liked Joey Logano because I'd met him before. But I didn't have any. I never thought it was going to be that big of a deal. I was just like, oh yeah, Matt Kenseth is paying him back. So to me, it was never a big deal. But then the next day, everybody was talking about it. I was like, oh, I guess it was a big deal. But to me, it was just the guy paying another guy back. And being an Earnhardt fan, I was just used to that. And I didn't know that people weren't used to that at the time. But when it became a big deal the next day, I was like, oh, I guess it is a big deal. But it never struck me as like a huge deal. E. Damon, I appreciate the super chat there. Fist bump, my friend. Let's see here. Where was that? Phelps is a clown, says Bumblebee. Yeah, that comment is clown status. Creed is a closet crier, says E. Damon. I don't even know what that means. John Hunter Nemechek uses Mobile 1 for sure. Who's worse, Brian France or Steve Phelps? I mean, the Brian France era, as bad as it was, it's like the golden age compared to right now. I love when Kenseth took out Logano, says Jenna Allison. Phelps, LOL, says Bumblebee. Brian France is way worse. So Thomas Haywood saying Brian France is way worse. Did Brandon Brown run a single race? I don't think he did. I saw him I saw pictures of him, I should say, at Talladega. That's the only NASCAR appearance I saw him make, and he was just standing on the infield having a good time. Chrome Diesel, you got me mixed up with Bo Darville, says Delmar Kaufman. Kenseth reckon Logano had me on my feet cheering. Spilled my beer, best thing ever, says Shaw. Creed was running better at the end of the year. Just goes to show if he would have made the Final Four, would have been up there tonight, says they're dead. Yeah, for sure. It gives credence. And like I said, I don't think Austin Hill or Sheldon Creed did anything wrong the way they drove each other. Because you saw tonight that both of them would have, at various points in this race, had a chance at the championship. Obviously, Creed, the better car today. But yeah, if either one of them had got in, it's a whole different conversation with the championship story. Brian France is clearly worse. We don't get to where Steve is without in the position to make his poor decisions without Brian France. So that's a fair statement. He is running for president. T-Van says Mark Barnum. T-Van, not a single race this year. He's GM at South Boston. That's a different Brandon Brown, but yeah, for sure. OJ and Toothpaste. You make me that Brandon Brown is from West Virginia, I want to say. OJ and Toothpaste, you make me laugh, says Shaw. I cried when Jeff Gordon won Martinsville, not going to lie, in 2015, says OJ and Toothpaste. Yeah, there is nothing wrong with crying when your dude wins a race, for sure. I know Iceberg. He saw Dale Jr. win a race live, and he's been always very open about that. That melted him. So there's nothing wrong with crying. Let's see. Thanks for a silly season, BB, says E. Damon. Yeah, it's been a crazy year, and we'll keep it going. We'll keep it going throughout the year. Earth 2, Bubba becomes the 2024 champion with Hamlin. I don't know if Bubba is bad enough to be good on Earth 2, though. That's fair. With Hamlin being second in points again, says Jamie Schweitzer. It's weird when O.J. McDuffie passed away. They just kept racing, says Bo Darville. Different era, man. That was a different era. That's and I don't know. I have to go back and look at that. But I don't know if it was confirmed. I know they didn't talk about it maybe till after the race, but I'll have to go back. Like that was that was a long time ago. But yeah, that was a crazy situation. And I always hated it because I was a Jimmy Means fan. So I always hated that Jimmy Means was the car that fell on top of him. Not that he had anything to do with it. I just hated it. So those were two guys that did it with the sweat of their brow, and they built their own stuff. I hated it that those were the two guys involved in that wreck. That always sucked for me. BB, do you have it your way at Burger King, says OJ and Toothpaste? No, I just basically just get the Whopper the way it comes. That's that and the original chicken sandwich are the only things I order at Burger King, but I don't go to Burger King that often. I'll tell you who does go to Burger King often, though. That's Eric Jones. Eric Jones is a vehement Burger King supporter. You can check his Twitter or X or whatever it's called now and check him out. He is a fervent defender of the King. Shaw laughing at Jamie Schweitzer. Auto Bell has sponsored a car before. Mike Stahl years ago, I think that's his name, says Thomas Haywood. Sheldon Creed is clearly a bridesmaid. BB, what's the worst candy you've ever had and the best one? Oh, man. They used to have this it was a hard candy and it was like a whistle. That's the worst thing I've ever had. I guess Snickers. I'm pretty boring as far as candy goes. Snickers is pretty much one of my go-tos. I like a Reese's Cup. I like a Butterfinger, but Snickers is pretty much my go-to. What brand of bologna is your favorite? Whichever one's on sale. I'm not super picky about it. I mean, Oscar Mayer, I guess. B, on Earth 2, should the championship be run at Talladega, Sonoma, Antarctica, or Guam? I mean, U.S. Foods is who delivers the bologna to the racetracks. So I guess whatever U.S. Foods is using. Should the championship be run at Talladega, Sonoma, Antarctica, or Guam? On Earth 2, it's got to be, I don't know, it's got to be ridiculous. So I would really have to think about the track. So Antarctica would be probably the best option for Earth 2, where it's nice and sunny all the time. Jimmy Smut means in the 52, says Delmar Kaufman. Yet we are stuck with that exact format invented by the man with some problems, says Chrome Diesel. But it's not his format. Steve Phelps came up with the playoff format. Brian France had the chase. So Brian France's version, you just had 10 races. So the last 10 races, that's how the championship was determined. So in that situation, it actually made more sense. Now, this playoff situation is actually 10 times worse than that, in my opinion. Eric Jones has bad taste in food, apparently, says Shaw. I think he's just trolling, though. OJ and Toothpaste says, Shaw, thank you. Let's see here. Charlotte says, Swedish fish are the worst, but Sour Patch Kids rate really high. The irony is that Sour Patch Kids are just Swedish fish with sour rocks on them, says Charlotte. I mean, that's you beat me to it, Charlotte, but that's exactly that's exactly facts. I actually I don't mind a Swedish fish. I don't like candy corn, so that was I guess that was a little bit of a controversy the other day. Some people wanted me to like candy corn, or were surprised I didn't like candy corn. I can't remember. Sucks Jimmy Means had a one race deal with Hendrick, but got wrecked early in the race, says Delmar Kaufman. Yeah, that was for sure a bummer. Made in Davenport, Iowa, says Mark Langren. Homestead, Miami is the better place hosting an NASCAR championship. I think they should just rotate it, except for Talladega, of the tracks that have playoff races. They should just rotate it. That's always been my thought. As long as we're going to keep this format, championship race should be run backwards for the final stage. There you go. Twin Bing is the best candy bar. Not available everywhere. It's celebrating its 200th birthday, says Mark Barnum. I've never had it. Chicken fries on a Whopper is the bomb, says Chris Cox. I've never tried that, so I'll have to keep that in mind. BB, what's your favorite era of racing? The 70s, the 80s, the 90s, 2000s, 2010, or 2020? Probably late 80s to early 90s if I could get that. If I could get that era. Right before they switched to the Lumina. So everything before the Lumina was kind of what I remember as being like really great racing. But I was a little kid, so I mean, take that for what it's worth. Maybe it was awesome because I was a little kid and those were the first races I ever saw. I don't know. And if you watch some of those races, some of them are blowouts. But when they have a short track race, man, they're always beating and banging, and it's fun to watch. Mark Barnum says 100th. Wait, you mean belongs? You mean bologna burgers are a real thing? LOL, says he. They're a very real thing. There's a video somewhere about it. that I made on how to make them. Sour Patch Kids are the best. The departure of Brian France happened a year and a half after the chase rebranded as playoffs, says Chrome Diesels. Okay. So he is responsible for this terrible system. I don't mind candy corn, says in between the lanes. BB, do you see the 47 car merging with another team? Highly possible. If not, just selling the charter altogether. Mike and Ike's are good. Mike and Ike's are elites. I do like a Mike and Ike's. Chris Busher tweeted that the best championship format is the one that started in February at Daytona. Says Bo Darville. I'm not in disagreement. Like, to me, I like the season long points because NASCAR is different than other sports. You play, like, if you play, so cumulative points, I mean, they make sense. Whereas you have to have playoffs in other sports because you can't play every single team every single day or every single weekend or however the sport is set up. Mark Langren, what is made in Davenport, says Charlotte. I miss the independents in NASCAR. Great stories. I do too. It added a storyline that you don't get anymore. What time is the show tomorrow, says one wise guy. I'm going to do the pre-race. I think the race starts at 3 o'clock, so I'm going to aim for, I guess, like 12:30, maybe 1 o'clock. So we'll see. I love Swedish Fish, says Jamie Schweitzer. What's Dave Marcus up to these days? Last I heard, he was racing in the in the Salt Lake region for speed records with an old Cup car that he's got. BB, what made you like Dale Sr.? He sent me an autographed postcard in the mail because I visited RCR. I was a Richard Petty man, so then I just started pulling for Dale Sr. and Richard Petty. Like, if Richard Petty wasn't doing good that day, I would just start pulling for Dale Sr. So that's just how I did it back then. Whichever, like, total little kid front running, like whoever was running better that day was my favorite. 95 to 05 was the best racing in my opinion, says Bo Darville. I mean, anything. I think anything from the 80s and 90s, I would say was good. And not that it was bad. The racing was never bad until, like, I don't like this particular car we've got now, but I think the racing's been pretty solid until they just started, like, trying to kill horsepower and do weird stuff. Championship Road America with snow, says Mark Langren. So there you go. A snow race for the championship. Antarctica would be the perfect snow race. The Cars Tour done for the year. Just glad Huffman didn't win, says Thomas Haywood. So much money. So both of the Voppels, Carson and Caden Voppel, won their respective classes in the Cars Tour championship for the year. So much money, so much less money does an independent get for a win? I've never heard the numbers. They don't post the numbers anymore, Shaw, unfortunately. BB, do you like watching sprint cars? Brad Sweet won another championship tonight. I saw Casey Kane post that, but I don't watch it as much as I would like to. But I do enjoy watching it when I get a chance to watch it. I'm about to watch the 1995 season, says Chrome Diesel. Candy corn is what you eat when everything else is gone, including vegetables. Bologna is made in Davenport, Iowa, says Mark Langren. Oh, so the U.S. Foods bologna is made in Davenport, Iowa. Let's see here. Swedish women are heavenly, says Shah. I don't know. I've never been to Sweden, but I'll take your word for it. BB, your thoughts on the aerodynamics and the look of the 2024 Mustang for Cup? I think it looks good. I think it's a good looking car. Oscar Mayer Baloney, says Mark Langren. Okay, so Oscar Mayer is made in Davenport. BB, who's your favorite underrated driver that never worked out? Oh, that's a good question. Ron Hornaday for the Cup Series would have to be one of them. Scott Riggs was good. I wish he had been able to stay a little bit longer. Dave Blaney, Jerry Nadeau because of the wreck. Steve Park because of the wreck. There have been a bunch, like Rob Moroso. We never got to see him. Tim Richmond worked out, but obviously didn't get to see his full career. I don't think you're going for drivers like that, though. So who else's career? They showed flashes, but they never got a chance. I mean, Justin Allgaier, like he probably got demoted pretty early. Travis Voppel, he won the Truck Series title, but he never got like a great shake at the Cup Series. I could go on probably for a long time about that. Feels like they would make that in a few places, says Charlotte. Personally, I like the racing from the 70s. That's what got me into NASCAR, says Delmar. Chrome Diesel, you're about to see some Jeff Gordon leading a lot of laps. I'm 6 to 7 races into 95 right now. Says both. BB, what's the best burgers? Carl's Jr., McDonald's, BK, have it your way, or AW? I mean, Five Guys. I think Five Guys has them all smoked as far as that goes. But if you're going for like a chain, I like a Wendy's. I like a Wendy's burger over sort of like a chain restaurant, or like I guess a regular chain. I don't know if Five Guys is considered fast food or not. So I guess fast food, I would go Wendy's on that one. Bodar, I'm in the middle of watching the Gatorade 125s. Sick name. Says Chrome Diesel. It hit harder. It hit my radar because Davenport is like 30 minutes from me, and that's pretty much where Kansas could have ended up being built, says Charlotte. Iowa Trivia, Quad Cities is Davenport, Bettendorf, Moline, and Rock Island. Two of them on the Illinois side of the Mississippi. Robbie Gordon. Robbie Gordon was another one. I agree with that one. BB, did you enjoy the Xfinity race? Says OJ. It was a good race. I did like it, for sure. Whatever happened to David Rudiman? Oh, dude, that's another one. Good point there, Shaw. David Rudiman's another one. He just disappeared. Yeah, he's definitely got to be in. Brian Vickers was another one. Obviously a little controversial because of who he married. But Brian Vickers would be another one. Obviously at the time we didn't know about all that stuff going on. BB was the first to recognize the name. Says Bo Darvel. Yeah, that's one of my all-timers there, Bandit. Perfect NASCAR drive. In fact, there is I don't know if you can see the little Funko Pop, but that's you right there, Bo. That's the Bandit. Let's see. Perfect NASCAR driver combo ever. Dale Sr. Driving the Miller Genuine Draft paint scheme. Main reason I liked Rusty as a kid, paint scheme. Says E. Damon Racing. Yeah, Rusty had some good paint schemes for sure. And that's who actually, I was talking about that Wilkesboro race. That's who won that Wilkesboro race was Rusty Wallace. He raced Jeff Bodine. If you haven't seen it, I want to say it's 1988. Look up 1988 Rusty Wallace wins North Wilkesboro and watch the highlights of that race. It's a really good one. Five Guys is overpriced, says Chrome Diesel. It is overpriced, but it's a good burger. BB used to be a guest on NASCAR radio Sirius XM, says in between the lane. Maybe one day. Five Guys sucks. Meat has all kinds of crap in it, says E. Damon. Five Guys is so damn expensive, but it's good. My girlfriend asked me what I wanted for my birthday. I picked that. LOL. BB IHOP versus Denny's. I like Denny's mainly because there's more of those around us, but also because there's a viral video of a guy doing a concert in a Denny's, and he says, "What the F's up, Denny's?" And forever, Denny's won that conversation after that. Do you think Adam Petty would have been the difference in keeping? Yeah, for sure. I think Adam Petty would have been good and he would have kept sponsors there. Loy Allen Jr. and Gary Ballou, says Thomas Haywood. Yeah, Loy Allen Jr., he had like a short run. It wasn't a great car, but he qualified on a lot of poles. And Gary Ballou, well, you know the story with him. He shot himself in the foot, but he was definitely a wheel man, 100%. Quad City Speedway, a location facility that was proposed, and they eventually picked Kansas instead to build, says Charlotte Ander, talking about where they built the racetrack. BB, what's the most recent diecast you bought, and can you show it to us? It's not the most recent one I bought, but it's the most recent one that came in the mail. It's the Black Rifle Coffee Noah Gregson little 164. It actually came in the mail today. So no, I didn't bring it in here. It's in the other room though. Let's see. Kind of looks like TC's helicopter. The paint scheme on that one. If you remember Magnum PI, TC's helicopter had the three lines in it. It kind of looks like TC's helicopter. That's why I liked it. BB, what's the most recent? I just read that one. Five Guys is only overpriced if you don't take 52 pounds of peanuts, says Charlotte Ander. Yeah, and if you go to Five Guys, order the small fry because anything more than the small fry is going to be just a day's worth of work trying to eat it. I can grill better than Five Guys burger with some great. Everybody can make a better burger at home. Like let's be honest about that. I was just talking about where you can buy a burger. Yeah, if you can't grill a better burger than fast food, you need to work on your grilling game because you can just put so much more flavor. The meat's better. You can season it yourself. So I don't know. And they can't do stuff like that because they got to get it out fast. So yeah, I agree with you 100%. I can make better wings at home too, but I don't know. It's easier. It's easier to order them out. Two Ford champions so far this weekend. Yep, the Ford sweep is in full effect. Steve Kinser did race in Cup for a full year. Yeah, Steve Kinser is another one I would have liked to seen have a longer shot at it. BB, is Noah a good choice for the 10 in Cup next year? We're going to find out. I believe in Noah Gragson. I think he can get his stuff together and win. I think Steve Grissom was a good driver that didn't make it. He's another one. I would throw Robert Presley and oh my goodness, I just lost his name. He used to race at Hickory. He drove the number 59 Alliance. Is what Dennis Setzer. I would have liked to seen Dennis Setzer get a shot at Cup too. You got Whataburger. You'll have to go to Texas though. We got Whataburgers in North Carolina. BB, I've never been to one, but we've got them here. What's the worst NASCAR crash in your opinion? Top 5, please. Rusty Wallace, Davey Allison. Austin Dillon when the floor got ripped up. Ryan Newman most recently at wherever that race was at when Blaney hit him. Was that the Daytona 500? That was the Daytona 500. And what's another flipper? What was a massive flipper? Bobby Allison when he tore the fence down. That was, or was it Richard Petty and Bobby Allison? Whoever tore the fence down that one time. That's got to be up there. Let's see. 49 dirt tracks in Iowa, a great place for grassroots racing, says Mark Barnum. Worst thing about cooking is cleaning up after, says Shaw. That's a fact. I say next live chat, BB opens those toys behind him and just plays NASCAR for an hour. I'll watch that, says E. Damon. They stay in the package, E. Damon. They don't come out of the package. They're adult toys. You look at them. You don't play with them. Let's see. Just playing. I take them out all the time. Reed Sorensen looked like he had a ton of talent and then fell off a cliff. Maybe a bad wreck or something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened to Reed Sorensen. Casey Mears would be another one. He was stuck in that 13 car and did good things in the 13 car, but just never got back in good equipment. He did win a race for Hendrick though. I don't like this format, but I honestly think Xfinity Field showcased that it may have just not been this format. That's the problem with trucks. It's the truck series itself. That's the problem. Yeah, but the truck series driving like a bunch of clowns wouldn't have been as big a problem if the format was a little bit tweaked or fixed. I'm not saying get rid of this format altogether because I know a lot of people like the playoffs, but we can do something to make the playoffs a little less susceptible to people driving like dummies. But Dark Rage, congratulations on the win with Cole Custer. Everybody so far in this chat has been, for the most part, pretty happy about that. So congrats on getting that Cole Custer W and that championship. We know you've waited for it for a long time, and you defended your guy for the longest. So the haters have to be quiet for at least one day or at least a week. Wait a second. Josh Berry going from 8 to 4. Noah from 9 to 10. Justin Allgaier in the 14 and 2025 is confirmed, says Charlotte. There you go. There's some math for you. I agree, Shaw. Says OJ, I'm a messy joker when cooking. Says Shaw, Junior to buy a steak in SHR in 2026? Question mark. There you go. Let's start the rumors. Brooks Brothers in Charlotte has a great hamburger, says Thomas Haywood. I have heard of them before. I haven't been, but I know who you're talking about. There's also the Quick Lube or Quick Burger. It looks like a Quaker State logo, but it's a burger joint. That's supposed to be really good in Charlotte too. Watched Steve Kinser qualify and practice at Rockingham. Horrible. He spun out in turn 3 over and over. Yeah, but it wasn't the same Quaker State team. There's a lot that goes along with that. I'm not gonna necessarily disagree with you that he had a rough run, but there's a lot more that goes into that. 1996 Craven, number 41, car flip at Talladega. BB, what's the best burger? Whataburger, Five Guys, In-N-Out, or BK? It's BB's way. I've only had In-N-Out one time, and literally it's like a year ago today I had In-N-Out. I like In-N-Out sauce, but I like Five Guys burger better. But I'll go In-N-Out because I do like their In-N-Out burger sauce. It's pretty good. Laughing my butt off, having visions of BB with his die casts on the floor, says Shaw. I used to do it all the time as a kid, man. Mark Barnum, Iowa was a legit short track racing culture. We do not get enough credit for what we have. Says Charlotte. Yeah, Iowa's got a great, and they're going to find out because they're going there next year. BB, do you hate the playoffs? I'm not a fan of them for sure. I mean, I've made several videos about I don't like the playoffs, but some people do. So I'm not trying to take their joy away. There is a way we can find a happy medium, I think. Ford getting the sweep, says Delmar Kaufman. OJ, Red Robin is better than those you mentioned. So he's a Red Robin man. Mark Barnum is. Agreed, Charlotte, says Mark Barnum. I'm happy about that. But, yeah, I love the Xfinity Field Showcase that, hey, we can have this format and not race like clowns. The Truck Series, you can race aggressive without people being in terrible wrecks. Joker, okay, no bees allowed. LOL, says Shaw. Yeah, YouTube's funny about stuff sometimes. The Mill at Puppy Creek has great burgers, says Delmar Kaufman. Thumbs up, says Captain Volt. BB, what's the best motor oil? Dollar General. We have a Discord, by the way, that I keep forgetting to pump. So if you want to check out the Discord, we do have one. It's called the Bologna Burger something. The Bologna Burger Post. The Bologna Burger something. I don't know. BB, what's the best motor oil? Dollar General motor oil or Royal Purple? I'm going to go with Royal Purple there. OJ and toothpaste. Red Robin is the bomb, says OJ and toothpaste. Yet another place where you get a lot of French fries is Red Robin. Winter's here. Time to cold smoked cheese, says Mark Langren. Yeah, we don't have that process over here. Never had Five Guys yet, says Captain Volt. I like it pretty good. Most people like it. A few people on the chat though have been against it. I've never been a fan of the current and if you get the fries there, since you never have it, just if you get fries, make sure you order the small fry because they're basically going to fill up your whole bag with fries. So don't order the large because the large is just a whole bag of fries by itself. I never will be a fan of the current format, but Xfinity cars are better than the Cup cars. Yeah, the Xfinity car is the standard right now. What is cold smoked cheese? It is a process for curing cheese, Delmar Kaufman, if I'm not mistaken. But it's been a long time since I've been into the culinary side of things. Bologna Burger Stand, that's what it is. Mark Barnum. The Bologna Burger Stand is the Discord server. I love that Tony Stewart called out the Truck Series in his interview. That's going to be classic and should be a classic, but more team owners need to call the truck drivers out for last night. I think the entire sport called them out on Twitter last night. So I'm with you though. They need to keep their butts to the fire. Truck Series needs more old guys like back in the day. I agree with that. Got to keep the kids in check, says Bo Darvel. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with that. And it looks like we have gotten to the end of the chat. So I appreciate y'all hanging out. We will do the pre-race at like 12:30 or 1 o'clock tomorrow. So I will see you there before the race, and then I will see you after the race. And until then, peace.